Is drafting a quarterback high in fantasy football for single quarterback league standard, is that dumb? So, and this could be second or third round. So we're going to approach everything. Any discussion we have about fantasy football is going to be from a 12-team point of view, 12-team league. And it doesn't matter whether it's a 4-point touchdown, passing touchdown, or 6-point. Do you think, we'll start off with you this time, Neckbeard. Do you think that drafting a quarterback high in fantasy football, is that a mistake?
Oh, I mean, like, are we talking dynasty single season? I mean, my answer is the same. Yes.
We're gonna go redraft. Yes.
So yeah, redraft, it's dumb. Dynasty, it's less dumb, but it's still dumb. Take this from a guy who drafted Russell Wilson in the second round a couple years ago. It was a really, really, really bad idea. And luckily, we also drafted Joe Burrow's rookie year, and I took Joe Burrow in like the 6th or 7th round. So I drafted way too high on quarterbacks, and it's hurt me really bad in our dynasty league. So yeah, I say drafting quarterbacks is a really bad idea in the first 3 rounds. You know, maybe if you're at the end of the third.
Well, I think there's a difference between dynasty and redraft.
There is. And no, in dynasty, I think you could maybe get away with it, like in the second or third. Like if there's one guy like a Josh Allen who's just a monster, right? A fantasy monster, or Lamar who's a fantasy monster. But I would say there's maybe 2 or 3 quarterbacks that are actually of that value, and any other quarterback's not worth it. And in redraft, it's absolutely not worth it. It's absolutely not worth it. Yeah, I don't think I'd ever draft a quarterback higher than the 5th round in redraft. Maybe the 4th round if I was at the end of the 4th, like I said, or maybe if I was at the end of the 3rd and I was just like, I hate all these running backs, you know, because you're trying to get your second running back, or maybe, you know, you got one running back wide or one wide receiver, or you're dumb and you took 2 wide receivers and you're desperate for running backs. So it just really depends on how your team fleshes out. But I am very much a 5th round or later quarterback draft guy. That's my personal opinion.
Okay. Yeah. So you actually brought up a good point there. So we'll approach this right now. The CBS fantasy football leagues that they're drafting right now. Doug donated some money. He mentioned previously to what was the charity, Doug?
St. Jude's.
Yeah, St. Jude's. May have heard about them once or twice. So that we could be in a league. The 3 of us manage a team, and we're drafting it and whatnot. And so they have a 2 running back, 2 wide receiver league plus 1 flex. So there's a little bit different strategy when you go 2 running back versus 2 running back, 2 wide receiver versus 2 running back, 3 wide receiver in a flex. Because you go 3 wide receiver, then it even slides a quarterback even a little bit further, I would think. Because then you really want to have those top 2-3 tier wide receivers. You really want to have them in 3 wide receiver, because you're going to start 4 wide receivers every week. So you really don't necessarily need the quarterback. What are your thoughts, Dougie?
So, yeah, and I'm actually looking at it's the Tom Grossi division in CBS Sports that we're in, St. Jude's and everything. Super great. Shout out to Tom and Azir and all these guys. I'm looking at guys in our league that drafted high, like on quarterback, Lamar Jackson, Daniels actually got drafted pretty high in the first 3 rounds. And I'm looking at their team, and what you have to do then is you have to pick, instead of having a really good running back and a really good tier 1 wide receiver, you have to kind of pick guys that you're just praying that they're good. So like Wildflower, he picked Matthew Golden.
We don't need to call out the team name. We'll just say Team A.
Team A.
Yeah.
I like calling people out, Dave. Okay.
Don't throw under the bus.
So Team A, whatever, they got Matthew Golden and Pearsall. Now, that could work out for them maybe in theory, but you just can't bank on it. You know what I mean? They're hoping and praying that they're going to hit their ceiling. And as you know, in fantasy football, it's about target share and volume. So you need guys that you know for a fact are getting those target shares, that they're the go-to guy on their team. Right. And, other guys that it might happen maybe, but you're playing with fire there. So you can draft a guy. We got Dak Prescott in round 8, 7-8, that 7-8 turn, which is crazy. We got Dak Prescott in round 7-8 turn, a guy who's led the league in fantasy points before. So it worked out for us because maybe we're geniuses or maybe we're dumb. I don't know, just out of pure luck. But we were banking that hey, we can get a Dak or a quarterback like that or a Kyler Murray later. And we got him even later than we thought we could get him. So drafting a quarterback high, to me, is extremely risky. And in fantasy football, when you start getting risky stuff happening, it can go downhill real fast, brother. You know what I mean? Like all of a sudden you're in a spot where like you have two positions now that are not doing so good. And good luck to you. So yeah, drafting a quarterback high, it's never worked out for me one time ever.
Me neither, man. So let's say I got one more thing to say about Dynasty. In our Dynasty, guys, do you remember who the first overall pick was? The number one pick in our Dynasty Forever League?
I don't.
It was Patrick Mahomes.
Oh,
coming off an MVP, looking like he was the greatest.
That's right. Yeah, because we're super flex.
Yep, because we're super flex. So we played two quarterbacks, guys. So like taking a quarterback early in a super flex is not nearly as bad, which is why I thought second round Russell Wilson was smart. It was not. Yeah. But look at Patrick Mahomes now. He's like QB 14, right? And he's not even old. He's not even that old. Like, you know, it's just such a risk with quarterback. Like, and yes, they last longer. And yes, running back's more volatile. But something that I've learned playing sleeper is when you draft, you don't draft for 10 years in the future. You draft 2 or 3 years. Like you want this guy to be good for the next 2 or 3 years. And if you get more than that, then, you know, kudos to you. It's all kind of icing on the cake. If you think too far ahead in fantasy and think about taking Joe Burrow first round in your fantasy draft, guys, even if you are 2 quarterback league, I don't know if it's a great idea. I just don't know if it's a great idea. You got to think shorter term, even in a dynasty league. So that for me.
How many rings have you won with Joe Burrow so far?
None. Exactly.
Who are your running backs last year with Joe Burrow?
Breece Hall and what's the name from the Panthers that got hurt all last year?
Travis Etienne
and Rico Dowdle.
Rico Dowdle. I thought you had another strong.
I have Tank Bigsby,
and you had Justin Jefferson,
and I have JJ, and I have Justin Jefferson as well.
Yep. So on paper, that sounds like a strong team. But you, if you didn't trade away your first round draft pick, you were right behind me, and we both then.
Now my first pick ever was Nick Chubb, which I don't regret because Nick Chubb was like a white running back 3 for like the first 3 years of our league. It's just that everybody else in my team was trash. But so my running backs are rough now. But yeah, just taking a quarterback early just has so many risks, and you don't necessarily think about it because you think running backs have higher risks, and to a point they do, but. You know, I guess is the other thing I want to say too, guys, is that the difference between quarterback 4 and quarterback 14 is a lot smaller than the difference between.
Well, no, but that's where you have to adjust yourself. It's not quarterback 4 against quarterback 14. It's quarterback 4 versus streaming quarterback 9 and 14. Because in this one, you can do the matchup game. So this way you can figure out the best matchup. So you might only have an average of maybe 2 points per week difference versus if you draft right away, you get 2 running back ones, so they both finish in the top 12. Then you have a positional advantage there over a lot of the other teams out there. Or if you have 2 of the elite wide receivers, so that's one of the things. And you can. Our strategy this year was we wound up taking the tight end early, Bowers, and so we overcame that by getting 2 running backs right after that. So that way, the idea is we have Chase Brown to go with Jamar Chase. Yep. Normally, you don't really like to go running back wide receiver on the same squad, but it's the Bengals, so they're elite. And then for our number 2, we wound up taking 2 running backs that will be able to do the match game. They're both going to get a lot of volume on them. They're going to get a lot of carry. So between the 2 of them, we think we have a solid running back 2, and we'll make up for that later on with the quarterback, and we can fill in with a whole lot of wide receivers. So I like that strategy. I like loading up on there's so many wide receivers out there. There are not nearly enough running backs out there who get volume. So plug it in. And then, double stack tight ends. You know, it's not as easy to do as quarterback. Right. But I like the idea of be the first person to get the last quarterback and the second QB2 on your team.
So quarterbacks and wide receiver are both deep. If you want a starting running back or like an elite wide receiver, you got to go early. Yeah. But after, like you said, after quarterback 3 or 4 or whatever, all the rest of the quarterbacks are almost equal. Like if you look at their point production, there's almost no difference.
Yeah. So that's what Dave's saying. If you got an RB1, an RB2, and a wide receiver 1 and a QB 12, like you're still in a way better position that has a QB 3 and an RB9, right? Or an RB11 or something like that. So like if we redrafted our fantasy draft today, I would actually be curious to see if like Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson went in the first round. I wouldn't begrudge somebody for doing it, but let's say I picked 8th or 9th and Jackson is there and Josh Allen is there, right? Am I going to take them over somebody like, say, Brian Thomas Jr. from the Jaguars, who's like a clear number 1, right? Or somebody like, let's say, I don't know, Brock Bowers, if he's there. I don't know, man. Like, part of me would want to do it. I already know myself. Part of me would want to do it. I want to.
He is all about the Brock Bowers.
Yeah, dude, I love Brock Bowers. Like, just volume of catches. I mean, he had like what, 118 catches or something?
He's a wide receiver playing tight end.
Yeah, exactly. He's more of a wide receiver than he is a tight end. So, yeah. So I just think that the advantage of having a top quarterback is much less than the advantage of having an elite skill position player, because quarterback 15 is just so much closer than wide receiver 15. Do you know what I mean? So,
but this also, and I'm just going to briefly touch on this, and then that'll be the last thing. One of the reasons why Travis Kelce was one of the very first tight ends ever taken in round 2 is because when they say positional advantage, he had a 4-point per game average over the tight end number.
Yep. Number 2. I think Dave lost it, but he was saying he had a 4-point advantage over tight end number 2. So that's huge, because you're not going to find that. Like, you're not going to find a 4-point advantage.
Brock did that also in the past, where Gronkowski would just be like a huge tier above everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dave,
Sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
Back. Okay. Mike Magic, you're back.
But yeah, so.
And he's gone again.
And he's gone.
Hey, the tight end 1, tight end 2, tight end 3.
It's funny that he just came in on tight end.
Tight end 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's funny.
I mean, I think we concluded that drafting a quarterback high is dumb.
Yeah, don't do it, folks. If you're starting your redraft,
night, gentlemen,
or your yeah. Dave, all we could hear from you was tight end. So we know what you're thinking. But yeah, your internet knows. But yeah, I mean, do what you want. It's your team, but there's a reason why people who are really good at fantasy football don't ever draft quarterbacks high. Just look at it. They don't. And like, I know it, and I've known it for years, and I've made the mistake of doing it anyway, just because I want to, and it doesn't work out. It almost never works out. So
this is a lot of fun tonight, gents.
Yes, indeed. All right. Well, that's our episode.
Totally made me forget about the Bears against the Chiefs first half. Oh my God, that was a time wreck. The regular season can't get over soon enough.
Well, it's train wreck time.
It's my final answer. Yes, drafting quarterback is dumb.
Yeah, the season's about to start. The Bears are about to fall apart. We're here to enjoy it. Good night, everybody.